Okay, so we're diving into A Man Called Otto today.
Yep.
It's a movie that's making a splash,
Hmm.
but is it more than just, a feel-good story?
Right.
We've got some excerpts from the book it's based on
Okay.
and a review from IGN
Cool.
to help us unpack this whole grumpy widower thing
Yeah.
and hopefully figure out what makes it tick for so many people.
Interesting.
So, what strikes you about the film?
I think it's how it handles grief,
Right.
right? The ways we deal with loss, especially with a character like Otto,
Yeah.
who wears his grumpiness like armor.
Totally. Otto Anderson.
Hmm.
Our main guy, he's got that get off my lawn energy down pat.
It does.
A real stickler for the rules, like
Yeah.
fiercely protective of his community.
Right.
But what I found interesting was how the book, the original source,
Hmm.
it digs into why he's so obsessed with those rules.
I see.
It's not just being grumpy. It's about clinging to order
Mm.
in a world that feels chaotic after his wife dies.
Absolutely. Those rules are his stability.
Right.
A way to stay in control when everything else feels like it's falling apart.
Yeah, and that's where Marisol and her family come in.
Right.
Shaking up his carefully ordered world.
Exactly.
It'd be easy to see Marisol as just this
Hmm.
overly cheerful, cliche who's there to fix Otto.
Yeah.
But the film, and even more so the book,
Okay.
they give her depth.
They do.
She's persistent, sure,
Hmm.
but genuinely kind, and she sees something in Otto
Yeah.
that he doesn't even see in himself anymore.
I like how their interactions really show the contrast.
Yeah.
Their worldviews,
Totally.
Otto's all about rigidity, cynicism.
Right.
Marisol, she's got this contagious optimism.
And it's those clashes that force him to face his own defenses.
Exact.
Like when she asks him to teach her to drive,
Oh, yeah.
he's so resistant at first.
He is.
He's got his routine, his way of doing things.
Right.
But Marisol's persistence, her willingness to be vulnerable.
Yeah. To admit she needs his help.
Yeah.
It chips away at that wall he's built.
It does.
Speaking of that driving lesson,
Yeah.
the IGN review, they point out how the film avoids
Okay.
romanticizing Marisol's efforts.
Right.
There are times her cheerfulness annoys Otto,
Sure.
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
It acknowledges change doesn't happen overnight,
Right.
and connecting with people can be messy.
Absolutely. And we see these glimpses of change in Otto's actions.
Okay.
Like he starts fixing things for the neighbors again, helping out, which on the surface seems positive.
Yeah.
But then I wondered, is it really about helping them?
Mm.
Or is it Otto trying to fill the void left by his wife?
Interesting.
He was always the handyman, the caretaker.
Right.
Maybe this is his way of holding on to that part of himself,
Makes sense.
the part he shared with her.
That's a really insightful point. It speaks to the complexity of grief,
Right.
how we find ways to cope. It's
Yeah.
not always a straight path.
No, it's not. And it makes his relationship with the stray cat even more poignant,
Mm-hmm.
He resists taking it in at first,
Right.
but then he's caring for it.
He is.
It's like he's rediscovering that ability to care
Mm-hmm.
that he thought he'd lost.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful parallel to this relationship with Marisol.
I agree.
Both the cat and Marisol disrupt his routine,
They do.
but they also offer him a chance to reconnect with
Yeah.
his own humanity,
Yeah.
to experience love and connection.
In a new way.
Exactly. So ultimately, what's A Man Called Otto telling us?
Right.
Is it just a feel-good story about kindness,
Mm.
or is there something deeper?
I think it's both.
Okay.
On the surface, it reminds us that community matters.
Yeah.
That even the grumpiest people need connection.
Right.
But it also asks us to look past those first impressions,
Uh-huh.
to see that everyone, even an Otto,
Yeah.
has a story, a reason for their behavior.
It really makes you wonder,
It does.
have we ever met an Otto in our own lives? Someone we misjudged at first
Yeah.
because they were gruff.
Right.
And did we take the time to understand them, to see them like Marisol saw Otto?
It's a good question.
This deep dive has definitely made me want to see the film
Oh, cool.
and maybe even reread the book with fresh eyes.
That's great.
Yeah, food for
Yes.
thought
Absolutely.
for all of us.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive
My pleasure.
into A Man Called Otto.
Anytime.
It's been insightful.
Yeah, it is.
And I think we've uncovered some really interesting layers
I agree.
to this seemingly simple story.
Absolutely.
So until next time, keep exploring those stories.
Sounds good.
And remember, there's always more than meets the eye.
You got it.
See ya.
See ya later.